Alright, welcome to your reading. It's been a while. Let's see what comes through at the time that you click on this video. What it is you need to know for your eyes. Good. I'm kind of curious myself. I hope you're well. To that in a minute. Two, three cards. There's an energy coming through of you rewriting your relationship template, and that's already a reading that came through. I'm going to link it below so you can watch that, because what came through there is apparently relevant for this reading as well. I'm just seeing someone that may have had to, or you may have just like in the recent weeks, like you've had to revisit a template that you've outgrown. You know, this can be a lover or a fling or like a relationship that I'm getting it as you had to revisit that, so you could like somewhat measure how far you've come, or like how, like that's old news. I just heard that's old news, but it's as if you needed another taste of it, another experience to really be done with that. And what I'm also hearing is, like we've touched upon this on this channel before, like same energy, different person. You know, it can be a pattern. If you've had like a pattern show up in your romantic life with lovers, relationship dynamics that ultimately don't feel good, but you still somewhat choose that can also speak of a karmic cycle, karmic entanglements. But long story short, I'm just really getting you had to revisit something as a sort of, it's making me think of when you quit smoking, for example. Like, smoking is not good for you, you quit it, but then you get a really strong craving, or like a few months in you're like, oh, let me just have one, it can't be that bad, and it tastes like absolute shit. That's kind of like the energy just in relation to relationships, or these dynamics that I just touched upon. So again, this will be your reading. You will know if it's your reading just alone by that. I had to revisit something, and when I did, it just didn't feel good, and it showed me how much I don't need that anymore, how it doesn't satisfy it doesn't satisfy me, it doesn't make me happy, it doesn't make me feel good. Ultimately, you may have considered it like a step back or beaten yourself up over it, but what I'm seeing is that it's actually what is catapulting you to the real deal here with the 10 of Cups. Like, this can be a relationship where it looks like a relationship, or just looks like a dynamic where you are truly loved for who you are, without any weird games. I heard like side games, but just like this looks really pure and authentic. So you're on the path towards that, and again, what is tying into it is this reading that I'm linking below, that you have changed your relationship template. But that is a big feat. If you watch that, you will hear more of that, like how that is a big deal. That takes a lot for a person to rewrite the relationship template, because there's so many factors that go into it, and a lot of it is childhood, like your relationship with your primary caretakers, imprints you've gotten from society, from like people that were closest around you. They can all define your first experiences. And then some or most take that into adulthood, and then it can be somewhat of an unraveling, and then you learn to understand yourself better. It's the whole thing. So yeah, watch that as an extension if you want. I'll link it below. They want me to pull some Lenormand. Why is this in reverse though? It's kind of... Yeah, it looks like you're at a, I guess we can call it a threshold, or just at a, like you seem to be at a fork within your path where you're either going to let people decide where you're headed for you, or you take measures in your own hand and you decide for yourself. And it's loosely tied into recent Patreon reading, Sagittarius one. I'm wearing the exact same thing I'm wearing here. So yeah, I do recommend you join Patreon if you resonate with the readings on here, because it's just gonna give you way more information, and you just have a whole library of timeless transmission. So you basically have like a little pocket guide at hand whenever you need it. But yeah, this is the main message here, is that you're either gonna let people dictate where you're headed, where your life is headed, or you take measures in your own hand. And there's something around you being wise, or you having like already had enough experiences to know what you want to repeat and what you refuse to repeat again. Like, this is again tying into the first part with the relationship template. That is part of your wisdom. Like, that's part of that. You can look at it as like a pool that you have access to, you know, that you get to revisit memories, or if something shows up that is familiar. It's very like giving you very much Harry Potter and that, I don't know what it's called, like that thing Dumbledore left behind, and you would like pull memories out. There's something around your experiences and how that is a pool that you get to revisit, and or it just comes up depending what you're dealing with in your life to life. Like, you have built upon your experiences, and that is what makes you wise, because it's information that you get to pull from. And for some, this may be that's obvious, but for some reason it felt like it needed to be spoken out, because apparently getting a sense of forgetting, you know, why experience these experiences that you have had, what they are there for, because it's not for no reason. It's not also just for you to suffer through shit. Like, they all serve the purpose on your life path. And again, like, I'm getting encouragement that there's something you can draw from. I just need to look something up. I need just a bit more clarified, please. I mean, another message that is tied to this, like, either you're gonna let people dictate your life for you, or you take measures into your own hand. It's tying into something that you love doing, and this like fiercely protecting that against outsiders or against anyone that wants to plant doubt into your head. You know, like, when you love doing something, you literally like you light up. like a beacon, and that of course draws in eyes. That's just how it is, because when you do what you love doing, you already vibrate differently than the masses, or like most that are still kind of stuck on a hamster wheel and just coasting by and not really thinking for themselves, kind of like, I guess, robots or zombies, just. Anyways, you are already setting yourself apart from that, or why your path may feel more difficult is, for one, if you have this as like, I don't know if you can call it a mission, I heard that word, but it's more wanting to live a life that feels authentic, wanting to live a life that feels true to you, that rings true to you. And I just heard like that some don't even realize what you actually mean by that, or what you actually want. Like what you're actually seeking by that is living, like waking up and being able to do what you love doing. So I'm hearing more that some get like caught up in the glitz and the glam and start like chasing the bag, or start chasing when that's not actually what you're craving. That is also like, can be very like a hollow existence where you're just posturing and posing, whether it's for the camera, whether it's for, but you don't really feel lit up within. So this is a very different energy that's coming through, because someone, or I guess the collective I'm reading for here, I just got a sense that this is helping you compress something that you weren't even, like, you understand why this is coming through, but you needed it compressed, because I guess we can get lost in chasing after something, or feeding into propaganda that gets like blasted out, whether it's from media outlets, and also in music, and in whatever way it can reach us. But with that said, you're gonna attract eyes, like, especially if you've already like had taste of what it means being able to do what you love doing, or that being like your end goal, or you already having had glimpses of that. It just sets you apart. And when something sets you apart, or you have a lot of eyes on you, you're gonna polarize. Like, there's gonna be polarities. There's gonna be camps that get inspired and feel like uplifted by what you're doing, by your joy, by the love of what you're doing, by the soul you put into what you're doing. And there's going to be others that will just feel envious. You will show them where they're not doing what they love doing, where they're wasting energy, where they're lacking, slack, or whatever it may. Like, it can just bring up positive emotions in people, and it can bring up negative emotions in people, and depending where they're at, where the consciousness is at, where the consciousness level is at, they're either gonna project it on you, make you out as like, you're the reason I'm feeling this way. If we get rid of you, I won't feel this way anymore. Like, just zero accountability. And of course that's not going to get them anywhere, but that's not your problem. You just seem to be, again, like in the middle of this, where you are picking up on how you are inspiring people, or how you can bring out positive emotions in people, and as well negative. And I understand that can be like heavy or difficult to navigate, because it puts you in like this odd position of like, hey, I'm just like living my life, I'm just doing me, or I'm doing what I love doing. Why should that bother anyone? But again, it bothers people because it's like a mirror. You're like mirroring back where they're lacking, and you're mirroring back where some are like inspired and motivated by your drive or by what you're doing, and it's maybe giving them purpose, or reminding them of what they are dreaming of, or how they also I guess are on a similar mission, or also want to create a life that is authentic and true to them. So see how that works. It just splits in two camps. And I guess for you it's important here as well that you just don't get too rocked or too shaken up by that being the case, because for some reason I feel like the first part really ties into this second part, because you may be craving like someone you can lean on, or just someone that has your back, or you know, someone who's just legit. I'm hearing like legit. It doesn't even have to be romantic, just like someone that you know sees eye to eye and sees you, most importantly I'm hearing like sees you for who you are, and without needing to contain you or control you, or just letting you be, basically. So yeah, for some reason I heard you're a tough cookie, but that's more like encouragement, because I've already got like you're only in this situation because this is part of, like, you were built for this. You can handle it. Not everyone can handle like being as polarizing as you apparently are, but you can handle it. I just want a little bit more information on this person, or like this desire, craving for a legit partner in crime. And with the Wheel of Fortune, it seems like it's in the works. But also you still need to be discerning of like snakes in your path and just fakery, you know, like people pretending to be allies, but will, the moment you turn your backs to them, they're like chattering away and fucking slandering. Like this is something you've already experienced, is what I just heard, because again it's bringing me to these experiences that you can draw upon, meaning if you've already experienced this, you're going to be more likely to recognize that template and that energy in another person, even if it's a new person. Like you're going to read them like a book. You're going to realize, oh yeah, this is exactly that type I've already, you know, dealt with, fucking clapping for you when other people are watching. But as soon as you turn your back on them, they're like talking shit about you, smiling in your face, and as soon as you walk away, they're pulling faces, you know, just that type. It doesn't seem to be anything new. It's just, again, this is for you. There's something that, you know, don't go back to being naive. They're just like, you've had your experiences, you can spot them faster than before, which also gives you the info, the data you need to just either keep your distance or not even let them into your, like, especially not let them into your inner circle. But of course this can also come up in romantic relationships, and this is where some can, I guess, again, I'm getting a link to another reading. The last reading, it was 2 weeks ago, I think the title was like Beware of Cracks, where physical, non-physical entities can slip in, because there are always going to be beings that are going to try get you where you are weakest. So for example, if relationships have been difficult, or there's just not been, you've had a lot of karma, like a lot of sludge you had to work through relationships, you know, you could be feeling lonely, or you could be feeling misunderstood, or you could be feeling, like it's like just not really happening for you, and then you internalize that, and you start doubting yourself, or you start making up stories about yourself, and you may feel really unloved or undesired. Like, I'm just getting kind of like a black cloud hanging around this, and that of course then can open you up to what you may, if you were in a different headspace, you would shut it down, you know, like you wouldn't even entertain it. So that's why I'm saying your mental, not only your mental, your emotional, your spiritual well-being, like it all does ultimately like affect or even influence the choices that you make. As a general, I'm hearing like some of you wouldn't be in the relationships that you are in, or wouldn't have chosen the relationships that you chose if you had a different support system, for example, or you had a different template of what is true love, what is genuine support, does it mean, like what does it feel like to be surrounded by a loyal, like, you know, experiencing loyalty, experiencing respect within a relationship, which for some lucky ones is a given, and others just haven't had that. So, it's easier, I want to say easier than to choose what feels familiar. But this is something that already came through, is like you're starting to recognize what may feel familiar just doesn't feel good anymore. Because you have been making moves that show that you've been growing and learning and changing. Whether this is visible to you and others or not doesn't really matter, because it is happening. Like, you wouldn't, this is a massive, like, this massively shows how much you've grown, that you can and will choose differently. So yeah, I feel like it's quite a bit of information. It's just also some reminders that, like, this came through strongly in the Patreon readings as well. I think even like in 2 or 3 readings where there just was this constant reminder that, like, you're human at the end of the day. Like, you're gonna make mistakes, so you're gonna make what you perceive as mistakes. There's gonna be moments where you feel like you're on a high-flying horse, like everything is going well, and then maybe you have bad days where you just, beat yourself up and just don't feel good. It's just a part of the human experience, But for some reason, it was like the collective was forgetting about that, or you may be holding yourself and others to a standard that is just maybe a little bit unrealistic. But then again, this can be influenced from what you're consuming, whether it's social media or like the whole celebrity, like, wait, what's that word? Worship. Like, that can, of course, make you feel like you need to live up to expectations that are not even, like, it's not human. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not realistic. So that's just, I guess, some food for thought, also to just be aware of what you're consuming and what is influencing your mind, because that as well can and will shape how you like are feeling day to day, how you feel about yourself, how you feel about what you're doing, because it's easy to slip into comparison. So yeah, I'm hearing you don't really realize how much it influences you until you take a step away, take a step back. So this could be encouragement. Maybe someone needs like social media detox, I don't know. If it's not a full-on detox, maybe just a different way of approaching it, or a different mindset, so that you don't constantly feel like you're in a pressure cooker and there are different elements there that can make you feel like you're in a pressure cooker. And one of it is, again, I'm just going to reference, is the latest Patreon reading. So I'm going to let you find your way over there if it's meant to be, and you will have 2, 3 extensions in total, 2 YouTube videos I'm going to link below, and then you have full Patreon, especially the recent one where I'm wearing the same outfit. We'll just give you some more info, and I will be back soon, I think. Maybe won't wait as long as I did this time, but it didn't really happen on purpose. Just time freaking flies by when you're having fun. Just kind of flew by these 2 weeks. I don't even know why, it just flew by.